Shareef O'Neal last night committed to UCLA. He backed out of his Arizona thing after the FBI probe. I will talk about the wiretaps in a separate video. But he backed out of Arizona after that incident with Sean Miller and DeAndre Ayton. And he said, yeah, I'm not going to sign with them now. So, yeah, last night, him and Shaq confirmed that he will be attending the University of Los Angeles, California, UCLA. So, good for him, man. He's a great player. I think he's going to be good. UCLA got Jalen Hands, got some good recruits coming in. Obviously, this year, I don't know if they're going to make it or not. They probably have to win the Pac-12 tournament. I think right now they're last four in. In my opinion, Pac-12 is a tough conference. You got Oregon rising. USC is a bubble team. All these bubble teams. So I feel like UCLA has a shot this year to make it. But next year, they could be a tournament team if Shareef O'Neal puts all of his skills together. Me, personally, I've seen Shareef O'Neal in person in an exhibition versus he played against our high school, Santa Monica High School, with Crossroads. And they played really well in that game. Shareef was up there getting rebounds. You know, I think he had like a double-double in terms of that. Our team didn't really have a big man to counter Shareef. So he got all the rebounds. Shareef looked good. Shareef played well. Shareef was a bit more of a jump shooter. If you look at Shareef, he's a little more lean than most players. So personally, I think Shareef O'Neal has to get a little bit more muscle on him. But Shareef O'Neal is more of a jump shooter guy, which I think the tall guys at UCLA, it's a stereotype. But Steve Alford knows how to do it. You know, obviously TJ Leaf, Thomas Welsh. He's had these guys, these stereotypes that he's had to break over the years. So at UCLA, it's the tall white guy stereotype. So now it's the tall black guy, which I still think is going to be successful because I feel like Steve Alford, UCLA, has a good offensive system. They mesh really well. They mess around on offense. So I feel like he's going to mess around with the schemes, and it's really going to help Shareef O'Neal, you know, come together as a player, put his tools together. I really think that if he really puts his tools together, plays really well next year, he could be a top 10 pick in the draft. Now, obviously, he's still very raw if you watch his game. So, obviously, he has to put everything together, rebounding-wise. In high school, it's kind of like his size is an advantage. In college, I don't know if that will be an advantage, depending on who the recruits are around the Pac-12 and who the recruits are, who they play on their schedule. I think they play Kentucky next year. I feel like in terms of size, I feel like in college he's going to have a little bit more trouble, you know, because obviously he's just gonna start playing guys that are his size, so it'd be a little tougher for him. I think he has all the tools to be the right player. I don't know if he can put them all together all next year. Possibly if he needs to get a second or third year to do a second or third year at UCLA. If he's good enough, he's a top 10 pick. If he's not good enough, he could probably be a G Leaguer, maybe late second rounder. If anything, I don't think he doesn't get drafted. I think the fact that he's Shaq's son itself will get him into the second round. He may be wanting to go the Shaq route and go 4 years. You know, Shaq went to LSU, obviously. He's going to Pac-12 school and UCLA. He just switched from Arizona to UCLA. Obviously, UCLA is a pretty good power program. Like, let's be honest. UCLA, Arizona, power programs. So it's good that he still stayed within the power program. I was talking to a lot of friends last night. I said I think the city of Los Angeles will embrace Shareef O'Neal because Shaq played in Los Angeles, won 3 championships for the Lakers. So Shareef O'Neal's that guy. I feel like he's going to come in. Everyone's going to love him. Everyone's going to think he's a great personality. I personally think he's a great personality. And everyone's just they're going to try to grow out. They're trying to help him grow into a player, help him sort of develop, help him sort of put his skills together. I think the coaching staff at UCLA is very, very capable of helping Shareef O'Neal. You know, obviously, he can always go Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for mentorship. Obviously, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, great UCLA player back in the day. Obviously, his name was Lou Alcindor. You're in the John Wooden Center. What else do you really need to be to succeed? UCLA is one of the best colleges in terms of college basketball programs. So I think that's really going to help him out this year. Like I feel like he is put himself in a better situation than if he went to Arizona. Obviously, I love the coaches they have at Arizona. Sean Miller's a good coach. They have a good system as well with DeAndre Ayton this year, so they could just slide Shareef on that Ayton role. But obviously, everything that happened in Arizona, you can't go to Arizona after that. I feel like it's bad for him as a player. You know, for him to be a good player, he needs to stay away from all the noise, especially since he's Shaq's son. Especially because he's Shaq's son. I think like you got to kind of stay away from the noise because You don't want to be too involved in the other off-court stuff. You know what I mean? You just want to go on the court, put on a good performance, be known for that, instead of being known for other stuff like wiretaps and FBI probes and all this stupid crap that's going on right now. So I think it's good that Shareef O'Neal is sort of distancing himself from all types of noise, and he's sort of saying like, hey, I know this is happening, and I want to focus more on basketball rather than sitting down, rather than just looking at it and saying, hey, I don't want to be even more of a distraction in Arizona because of this already distraction looming. And it's dumb, and it makes sense for him to sort of get out of it. Obviously, Shaq wasn't calling TNT last night, and this was probably the reason why, because he knew that his kid was going to commit somewhere, so he wanted to be with his kid, which he was. And if you saw the Instagram posts, they were pretty hilarious. I mean, it's pretty good, though. It's pretty good for him. He's a good kid. I feel like I said, he has all the tools as a big man to put it together at the highest level possible, to be able to be a successful thing. I would be a successful basketball player. I hope he's a successful college student as well. I hope he goes to class, he gets good grades, he's a good academic student, he puts in his work academically, he also gets that stuff, because like I said earlier, I don't like the one and done stuff at all, and obviously these guys are getting paid now. I mean, it makes sense that some of the people got paid, some of their families, blah, blah, blah. It's still not acceptable, but whatever, man. That's why they got to get paid. So Shareef O'Neal obviously needs to just go to class. I feel like if Shareef O'Neal does both, and he comes out 4 years later, he could actually be like a late first rounder, be like a guy who goes under the radar, plays well in the NBA. You know what I mean? Like, obviously he's always gonna have that Shaq Son thing hanging over his head. But I think personally that with him going to UCLA is a first step for him in his career towards possibly a good career in basketball. And if not basketball, get an education. You do something else, man. You don't have to do basketball. So, congrats to Shareef O'Neal. UCLA has a great basketball program. I hope he learns a lot under Steve Alford and the John Wooden Center, and go to Kareem for mentoring. But yeah, I think he's really gonna flourish. I think he's really gonna flourish in the system. Got a good jumper. Got some skills in him. So I think the UCLA coaching staff will take advantage. I think Shareef O'Neal going to UCLA is a slam dunk decision. A+ to him. Exemplary program. Great job. Pac-12 sports is gonna get a really good player next year. I mean, it's inevitable.